putting together a class 3 rig for a backyard course that a friend of mine has put together. It's not going to be something where we're not doing everything by, you know, all the big crawler rules. This is just a backyard course for a bunch of people, a bunch of guys that hang out together. And so we do have classes though. We got class 1, 2, and 3. I have 1 and 2 covered. Didn't have a 3. Started to put one together. This was one that I kind of hinted to. Show you what it was and show you what I did differently. So what I had originally found was an RVX10 bomber. I had a bomber, probably 6 years ago, but I wanted that style. I wanted a U4 style. So I got a good deal on a complete bomber roller. And mind you, it doesn't have the panels or anything on it right now, but I do have everything for it because it was complete. The only thing it didn't have was a radio. So what I did is I pulled the axles out from under it and was going to convert it and put it on SCX-10-2 axles. And that would draw it into about a 9-inch track width, where the stock AR60s are just about a foot wide, well, whenever you put the tires on. So we needed to have a little bit narrower to handle the course over there. So I pulled off the AR60s. Now both of those are complete, and there's nothing wrong with them. I've actually gone back through them and packed them full of grease again. So it's a good set of axles, and I've got a plan for those as well. But what I had done is, like I said, I took everything out and I was just in the process of mocking up and started looking for axles. It's amazing what people are asking for spare parts these days. It was just about to the point where I would have been better off just to bought a SCX-10-2 raw builder's kit, use the axles out of that, and just save the rest of it for another build. The tires that are on this thing are a standard 1.9, 4.75 height, 4 3/4 inches tall. And so it was going to be pretty solid. It was going to be a decent rig, but after pricing everything, I was going to be way up there, way higher than I wanted to be. So I did something a little different. Vanquish H10 Optic, an amazing truck, amazing rig. Now, as you can tell, it's got some upgraded stuff on it, and there's some upgrades that you can't see as well, but let's get into this thing. The day I start planning is when they drop this truck, and timing was terrible. I'm a little late to the game with it, but I had to have one of these things, and so I saved like crazy to get it, and so here it is. But I have made some changes to it, some subtle, some not so subtle. It had a standard 35 turn brush motor, as you can see right here. This is what came out of it, and there's nothing wrong with it. This only has like one run on it total. And let's see, the ESC was something that looks a lot like a Dynamite, and it may be very well, but just a standard brushed ESC. And there's there's nothing wrong with it. You can tell that the wiring looks fairly new. So I took everything out and upgraded it to a Hobby Wing Quick Run Fusion SE 1800 kV brushless setup. Now, the cool thing about this is that it takes any of that old jumpy reaction that a brush motor has completely out of the picture and makes it buttery smooth. For the technical parts, for the track that we've got over there, or the track that we go to over there, having the ability to slow it down to a snail's pace is a great thing to have if you need it. ESC will take 2 and 3S, which is freaking awesome. So, but now I'm running everything right now on 3S, and it's not for a speed thing, but it's just to have that added punch in some of the areas over here on this track. And I'll get video of that track, because it's a work. Number one, it's a work in progress. And out of respect to my buddy, I don't want to just go over there and start filming everything. But he's given me the green light to do so, so I hope to do that. Show you guys, and like I said, again, it's just a work in progress, but show you guys what's going on over there, because this place is going to be phenomenal. But the only other things that I've done to it is I've changed the wheels and tires. Now, the wheels that were on it were a 3-piece beadlock, but they were plastic. Now, I've changed them and put them onto a different set of wheels, but I'll show you the original wheels. This is what came off of it wheel-wise, and I've just stuck them on this old set of 419s that I've got here, but really nice looking set of wheels. And the tires are, let's see, these are a Yokohama. Now, don't mind the wheels. I saw those wheels the other day. That's an Endura turbine, and I've been wanting a set of those for a while. Hadn't been able to locate them. Finally got me a set, but it's a great tire. The tires are super sticky, but the foams are just a little bit stiff. Didn't want to put anti-foams in them, but for these being as stiff as they are, it would have worked out well to put anti-foams in them. But I went a different direction and went with these old Endura, whatever. It's like a mud tire, 4.75. The tread on them is pretty aggressive. These are the ones that I've had forever. We've traded them back and forth with Eric, and they've been sitting in a box forever. And so I finally just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to try this. Stuck them together, added some weight, and it really woke this thing up. These are just 1.9 Endura beadlocks. This is all decorative up here on the front. It's only got 5 beadlock screws on the back side, but they hold together really well. I've got them weighted. I don't want to disclose what kind of weight I'm using or how much weight I'm using, because I never know who's watching this thing. So we're just going to keep that top secret for now. I did add LEDs up here in the front. I still have to put the lenses in. I'm out of glue. Every time I try to do something, I always find something that I'm out of, and I just happen to be out of glue today. So I'm going to get those lenses put in hopefully before this evening. Supposed to go test it again tonight. The body, it's like a hard body. It's kind of like an ABS, even the grill roof, kind of. The side panels for it, no freaking leg sand at all. One of the reasons why I really like this thing, and I know it's probably just me, but is the steering on this thing. Now, it is a servo on axle, but it's hidden on the backside. You can't even tell that the servo's there until you actually start digging and looking for it. But look at this thing. Check out. It looks like a steering ram, right? That is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. And it just made me like it even more. But I've got it set up with a little bit of droop. There's still a lot to do, a lot of fine tuning. The major improvement is that brushless system. It is just phenomenal. It is a one-piece design, so there is no standalone ESC. Everything is contained by at the motor. You put the motor in and just wire it in, and then it's just I set the switch right here in the backside, so it's easy to get to, and it's as simple as just it's off, right? And so I'm going to reach in here and turn it back on. I got my drag brake set just about, let's say 100%. So you're not moving that thing. Look at that. It'll move just a little bit, but that brake is solid. This thing is ridiculous. Turn it off and it's back to freewheel. The Yokohama livery is phenomenal. There is another one that this has the gray cage. There's another one up there at the hobby shop right now that has a Sparko livery. It's like a blue rig with the black cage. And I'm hoping a certain somebody will actually buy that thing and take it home. Just saying. Chassis is phenomenal. Now, mind you, it's sitting on a regular non-portal axle. So there's no portals on this thing. Straight axle. Center pumpkin on the rear, offset in the front. There you can see where they mounted the servo. And it is on the axle. It's not on the chassis at all. So it floats with the axle. And then the suspension on this thing's like butter. Look how smooth the underside of this thing is right there, especially right here on the skid. Now these are not screws. This is just molded plastic. The only screw is a locator right here. Steering is pretty complex. It's got a ridiculous steering angle. Look at this. It's an incredible steering angle. Shocks are oil filled as usual, threaded aluminum body with a couple of adjustments in it. You know, there's another location there, and then on the rear end, I think there's 3 on both sides, but real supple. Radio is pretty simple, but the cool thing about it is that it is a 4-channel radio. There's 4 channels on that receiver, so you could add a servo winch, which there's actually a place for under the hood for whatever you wanted to do. If you converted it and built another front axle, put it on the back, you could easily make it four-wheel steer. Pretty nice setup though. All kinds of adjustments. Nice to have those two open channels. What's next? As far as the truck itself goes, I don't think I'm going to make any other changes that I can see right now. Once I dig deeper into it and run it more, see a couple of things, and maybe the shocks. Who knows? I don't really see those being an issue right now. First Vanquish I've ever run. I used to be. You couldn't give me anything from Vanquish, but this thing completely knocks it out of the park. Fell in love with it immediately, and just, I know I promise video all the time, but you have to realize I am a one-man band, and once in a blue moon I get help, but I usually don't like to ask people to help me do this. If you've looked at them, you're considering it, dude, pull the trigger, go get yourself one. You will not be disappointed. I didn't get into where the battery is located on this, but oh my God, it is so freaking awesome the way they got it set up. And maybe I can get into it next time. If you want a really good video about this truck, go look at Matt's over there at the Scale Builders Guild. He does a fantastic job. That's what sold me. So Matt, if you see this, you probably never will, but if you do, thanks for the information, because that's really what helped me decide to do this. But anyway, you guys take good care. We'll catch you on the next video, and until then, we'll see you.